shoes. Everything she says is truth. If you don't know, now you know. All you ever gotta say is heard that, heard that, heard that, heard that, heard that, heard that. Look, all you ever gotta say.
What's up, Heard That Nation, listening in the United States and around the world? Thank you for listening to the Heard That with Marisa Tigney podcast. I am excited and love me an award season, and I have the right guy with me that is back on the podcast. If you're watching, subscribe, hit that subscribe button right there on the YouTube. But he is here to discuss all things Oscars with me, as Oscars are getting ready to come up on April 25th, back with me. And again, as I say, and I said it in the previous episode when he was on, if there was a Star Wars trivia contest for $1 million, I would select him in a heartbeat to be on my team. Ryan Ellermann, welcome back to the Heard That podcast.
Hello. I'm so excited to be back. I can't tell you how much I've been looking forward to this.
This is going to be a great discussion. And as we said before we even jumped on here, like he and I have notes upon notes upon notes for all of those that love award season as much as we do. This is like the epitome, the climax, if you will, the Oscars, again, on April 25th. We cannot wait to dive in. But as I was telling him before we came on the show, for some reason, I became a psychiatrist to many of those that love Bridgerton. I think, Ryan, you may have introduced me to, or somebody did, and I binge watched the whole first season. I absolutely loved it. Can't wait for the second season because Shonda Rhimes, for some reason, just she can't do any wrong. So it was announced a week or two ago that the leading star, the actor that played Simon, Duke of Hastings, Regé-Jean Page, he is gone. He's no longer going to be on the show, not continuing on, will not be part of season 2. And I heard all kinds of Bridgerton broken hearts everywhere. People that knew, and I think it was very few, including you and I, that knew that the series, the books itself, it focuses on the Bridgerton children. And then this next series, the next season, I believe is going to focus on Anthony. I cannot wait. I'm a little sad that he's gone, but I was prepared ahead of time that he was not going to be part of the cast.
Yeah, I had also read that each of the different books focused on one of the different Bridgerton children. So I was like, so obviously he won't be the main character next season, but I thought surely he must still have some kind of a small role. So even I was just the tiniest bit shocked. But I guess I understand the story, and I'm gonna, fingers crossed, hope that there's a cameo in the future, maybe.
I hope so too, because that would make sense. Daphne is, continuing to be the wife and raising their child, and I don't want to give too much away. If those have not seen it, you must be living under a rock, because
yes,
the first season is absolutely amazing, which is all the hype leading up to the second season, which is coming soon. So everybody just dry your little Bridgerton tears. It's going to be amazing. I know she won't let us down, and she will not disappoint. And speaking of disappointment and all things exciting, let's dive into these Oscar noms, because I got some stuff to say, and I know that Ryan is going to share his expertise and his thoughts about the Oscars itself. So again, the Oscars is going to be a little bit different because, again, we're still dealing with social distance, and we're still, slowly but surely coming out of this pandemic. So I know that a few weeks ago, they were saying that it was mandatory for those that were nominated to show up in person, but they backtracked that real quick, realizing, hey, excuse me, we're still living in a pandemic. We're all not going to be there. So Zoom it is. I know some of the people that are presenting will be there live, as we saw in different award show outlets. We saw it in the SAG Awards. We saw it with the Golden Globes and everything like that there. So, but some of these nominations, and you can elaborate further for me, because I was reading through them and I was looking through them, and you and I were talking a lot with some of the movies and those that got nominated in these categories, and happy for some, head scratcher for some, and some of them that I just don't understand why they didn't get the accolades or the nominations for this. So we'll dive right into it. Actress in the supporting role, we got Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy. Glenn Close, to me, just can't do no wrong. And when is she going to get an Oscar? I don't know. Olivia Coleman, the father. And I became a fan of Olivia Coleman when I saw her for her Academy Award in The Favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And then seeing her in The
Iconic.
Crown.
Iconic.
Iconic. Maria Bakalova, Borat subsequent movie film, and the title is just Forever. I think they should win an award for the longest title ever.
They should, yes. Very long title. And I
I'm
hate
like,
at the award shows when they read it all out. I'm like, just say Borat 2.
It was so interesting. I'm like, Borat 2, and I'm going, okay, I didn't realize that Borat, that whole title was in there. So it was, if people want to know, it's Borat subsequent movie film, delivery of prestigious bribe to American regime for make benefit once glorious nation of Kazakhstan. That took
Beautiful.
up like 2 pages in a book. Amanda Seyfried in Mank, she was just glorious.
Loved it.
And Yu Jung-yeon in Minari. Oh my goodness.
Heartbreaking.
You recommended that movie to me. I don't think I was fully prepared for the amount
I wasn't
of
either.
waterworks that I was going to have. And my favorite out of that, and I want you to elaborate on yours for sure. Amanda Seyfried, when I saw Mank before I saw Minari. And I'm going, oh my gosh, she's brilliant. She just brings the full essence of Marion Davies, the back in, I believe the 30s, 40s actress.
Yeah.
Did so well with that. And then I saw Minari and I saw Yu Jung-yeon and her character that she played. And oh my gosh, just absolutely brilliant.
Great.
This is her first nomination. Amanda Seyfried's her first nomination. Maria Bakalova, it's her first nomination. And then you got the veterans in there, Olivia Coleman and Glenn Close. I am leaning towards Yoon Jung-yeon for Minari. What are your thoughts about that?
I'm kind of leaning towards the same, honestly. This supporting actress category this year is very interesting because it is a lot of newcomers. Mm-hmm. And then you've got Olivia Coleman, who has already won an Oscar. Mm-hmm. And then you have Glenn Close, who is one of the most it's due actresses. It's time. This is her 8th nomination, I think. Mm-hmm. So, and if we remember, the last time she was nominated was a couple years ago, and she lost to Olivia Coleman, and that was a big surprise upset.
Yes.
So I think it's interesting that they're both nominated together again. It would be interesting if Olivia Coleman maybe had another surprise win. I don't think that's going to happen this year. But I'm putting my money also on Young. I think that she won the SAG Award, which is one of the most important predictors to who's going to win an Oscar. Usually, whoever SAG votes on is usually who will win an Oscar because a lot of members of SAG are also members of the Academy.
Right.
So I think that she's definitely kind of the front runner right now in that category, but Amanda Seyfried definitely could be the spoiler. I think that she's kind of one of the main standout performances in Mank. So I could definitely see her pulling out a win. She's one of those actresses that has been around for a really long time, has kind of, put in the work. She's got all sorts of different stuff from Mean Girls to now Mank. So it would be nice to see her
as an actress,
win.
Her craft.
Yeah.
She's evolved in her craft. She's one of those ones where I just highly respect, where, again, we saw her on a soap opera. She started off in a soap opera from the first time I saw her, All My Children, and then evolves into this actress, on Mean Girls and, her comedic timing in that movie. And then as I got done watching Mank, I'm like, okay, this girl is just captivating and evolving in her craft. And kudos to her for, the nomination. Again, if if she does win it, that's well deserved because people really need to see this film. I love that it was in black and white. I loved that it captivated old Hollywood and the storyline of Mank. It was absolutely, her performance was absolutely brilliant in that movie.
Agreed.
Actor in a supporting role, Sacha Baron Cohen, The Trial of Chicago 7. He was good. I wasn't buying what he was selling. I'm like, okay, let me just, can he pull off something serious? I mean, I saw him in Les Miserables, And then, I just think of Borat and Ali G and everything else. But he surprised me in this role, and it did very well. Daniel Kaluuya, Judas and the Black Messiah. I believe this is his first Oscar nom. Leslie Odom Jr., One Night in Miami. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant performance in that movie. Paul Rossi, Sound of Metal. Dark film, but he was good. Lakeith Stanfield, Judas and the Black Messiah. Now, school me on this, Ryan, because I just found this. This is one of the ones I found to be a head scratcher because Daniel Kaluuya, to me, was a lead actor, but he's in a supporting role. And this isn't the first time where we saw actors and actresses that led a movie become, nominated in a supporting role. Because why? It just tells you ahead of time that the loaded field of the supporting actor or actress category, there's already going to be a sheer clear favorite in that category. So for him to be in the supporting role, I'm like, okay, he led the movie. I can see Lakeith Stanfield being in there because they're both from that movie. Both brilliant, brilliant performances. This is the first time I've ever seen a movie 3 times and loved it. And that was Judas and the Black Messiah. Three times.
Great movie.
3 times. Great movie. Absolutely, this category to me is loaded because I saw all the movies. Ooh, Daniel Kaluuya for me. He won the Golden Globe. He won the SAG. I just see him taking the Oscar in this category.
Absolutely. I think that he has the strongest narrative going into Oscar night. He's had a lot of really great performances over the last couple of years, kind of culminating in this, really fantastic performance. It definitely helps that he's in supporting actor, kind of giving a lead performance, as we kind of discussed. So to kind of touch on that, from what I have read about this whole situation, about what happened with this, is that basically at the Oscars, the studios will campaign actors in certain categories, but at the end of the day, it's up to the voters to decide what category they want to vote which actor in. So Warner Brothers, for their For Your Consideration campaign, they ran Lakeith Stanfield in Best Actor and Daniel Kaluuya in Supporting. I'm assuming probably because they thought Daniel Kaluuya would have a better chance winning in Supporting Actor. And this is just the thing that studios and the Oscars like to do when there's 2 people that could be in the same category, both kind of leading the movie. They decide one of them is the lead and one of them is supporting. We saw it a couple of years ago with Green Book. We saw it with The Favorite a couple of years ago. It's always a little silly when it happens. And it's definitely, you can tell it's the studio saying, let's hedge our bets on this actor winning this award because they have a better chance of winning in this category. But the confusion that happened was that there were enough Academy members that voted for Lakeith in Supporting and Daniel in Supporting, and not enough to vote either of them in Best Actor. So they both ended up in Supporting Actor, even though they're kind of both the leads of that movie. So it's a mess, but I'll be happy to see hopefully one of them win.
Yeah, that is true. I'm glad you cleared it up because I've seen this as of late, and I'm going, okay, didn't they lead the movie? Why are they in Supporting? My thought process about it's like, okay, well, basically the Academy kind of in a way, the voters and the powers that be is telling on themselves in the lead category because they're telling this person, I know your movie and your work is absolutely amazing, but you have no chance of winning it in this particular category. So we're going to put you in this one. And like I said, every single one of these actors were amazing. What were your thoughts about Sacha Baron Cohen's performance in The Trial of Chicago 7?
I thought he was really good in it. I kind of like seeing him do like a more straightforward dramatic role. He's in it a couple of times now. But I really, really thought he was good in that movie. I thought that movie you could pick any one of the actors in that movie, and if one of them could have been nominated, and it would have been like, yep, that's the one to nominate. But I'm glad that he was the one that they kind of chose to nominate because I think that he gave a really fun performance and a really kind of deep emotional one as well.
I think so too. I think every single one of those actors, as you said, just captivated the characters of the people that were actually of that because it's based off of a true story. And you didn't even see the actor that was portraying the person, the real life person. You saw the real life person brilliantly acted through the actor. And kudos to Sacha Baron Cohen for getting that nomination for the Trial of Chicago 7. As you said, any one of them could have got that. Like if they expanded this category, there's several other people from that movie that I believe should have been in there to get the supporting role. It's just absolutely an amazing movie for people to check out. Then we get to the actress in the lead role. And I got questions on this one too.
This is one of the most kind of, we don't know what's going to happen in this category, I feel like.
Yes,
because it's kind of all over the place.
All over the place because, and let me read the nominations. I'm going to tell you why. Viola Davis, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Andra Day, The United States versus Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby, Pieces of a Woman. Great to see Vanessa Kirby because she was brilliant in The Crown. If you've not seen the early seasons of The Crown, she's absolutely great as Princess Margaret. Frances McDermott, to me, who just, she had me at Fargo, okay? Just had me at Fargo in Nomadland. And Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Woman. Now, what I find interesting, Ryan, is that Andra Day is nominated for an Oscar, but she was not nominated for a SAG award. And that path of, if you win the SAG, that leads up to, possibly you winning the Oscar. So I thought about that when the SAG Awards and the nominations came out, that her name completely didn't even be for anything, either, supporting or a lead, but she got the Oscar nomination. How did she get missed in all that?
I honestly don't know. I know that there's a lot of politics involved in who gets to nominate each category in the SAG, because I think with the way it works in the SAG Awards is that they have nominating committees where it's like a select group of people get to nominate, and then the whole body of the Screen Actors Guild gets to vote on the awards. Whereas with the Oscars, the actors branch votes on who the nominees will be, and then everyone gets to vote on who the winner will be. So I guess maybe the actors in the Academy probably responded to it better than SAG. I think also what probably happened with this, because The United States versus Billie Holiday was kind of one of the more later releases, I'm thinking what might have happened is that maybe SAG just didn't get to see it in time for enough people to vote for it. But then by the time the Oscars came around, a little bit more people had seen it. We had seen her win a Golden Globe already by the time they were doing nominations. So I'm sure her winning that Golden Globe put her on the radar for the people that maybe hadn't seen that movie yet to nominate her for the Oscar.
Right, and that's her first nomination, Vanessa Kirby's first nomination. Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Woman. It took me a couple attempts to watch that because of the storyline itself, and I was trying to just stay focused with it. But Carey Mulligan's performance on there, it's unexplainably dark, but she was good. Like she was absolutely good. Again, it took me a couple of attempts to get through it. Maybe because of the movie itself, but her performance captivated me to get through it, if that makes sense.
Yes, totally. I agree. That's definitely a difficult movie. It's not a movie that you can just throw on and watch and have a good time with.
Right.
But she does a very good job kind of carrying you through it. Carrying. She definitely kind of threads the needle for us so that it's a little less difficult if you just kind of focus on her, but it's definitely not an easy movie, but it is a very good performance from her.
Who's your prediction? Who you think will take the Oscar in this category? I know.
It's hard because Viola and Frances have won before. And then you have these three actresses, two of whom this is their first time being nominated, who have not won before. And usually the way the kind of Oscars tend to work is that if there's an actress that is kind of fresh-faced, young, new to the scene, she's usually the one who's kind of going to win, because the Oscars love to mint a new star, especially in the Best Actress category. So that could definitely work in Andra Day's favor. But right now, I'm thinking that because Viola won the SAG award and because people love Viola Davis, because how could you not?
Right.
I could definitely see her getting the win as well. She's won before, but she won in supporting actress. So I think a lot of people, an actress like her, we want to see Viola Davis with 2 Academy Awards. We want to see her with a Best Actress Academy Award, which she has not won. She almost won for The Help back in 2011.
Yeah,
and that was a year where
Meryl Streep.
That went to Meryl.
Yeah.
And that year, Viola won the SAG award, but Meryl won the Oscar. So it could happen that Viola won the SAG award and then doesn't win the Oscar again this year. I could also see Carey Mulligan win, though. A lot of the predictors that I've seen have been saying Carey Mulligan might be the one to win, which I think is interesting. I don't see that happening, but it could happen. We'll see. This is definitely going to be a surprise no matter who wins, because I feel like a lot of it is still so up in the air as to who the consensus will be, because it's been a different actress winning the awards for pretty much all of the year.
I agree. This is one category, looking at all of this, and you and I talked about it, where it's just like, well, heck, any one of these women can win it. Like, there isn't no, oh, she is, clear-cut favorite above the others, everything. Any one of these women can get it, because every single one of these women in this category have been either they won different awards at different shows, or have been just highly praised by the committee of the Hollywood Foreign Press. Good luck to any single one of them. I just say all of them are winning. Can they all tie? Can they all get a statue? Because their performances were really, really, really good. We could get a tie in this category. Who knows?
It has happened before in Best Actress.
Yes, it has.
So it could happen again.
That's true. Actor in the lead role, Riz Ahmed. Oh, he was good in this one.
Love him.
Oh, he was so good in this one. This one, it was hard for me to watch this movie, but his performance just brilliant. Sound of Metal.
He's great.
The brilliant Chadwick Boseman, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Sir Anthony Hopkins, 83 years young, for The Father, Gary Oldman in Mank, Stephen Yeun in Minari. This is another category, Ryan, where any one of them could take this home, but the incomparable Chadwick Boseman, to me, I just see it as him being just a clear-cut favorite, and it just breaks my heart as well as yours, and many of them that have been fans of his work for a very long time, that he's not here to accept this. And graciously, his amazing wife has been, when Chadwick won the SAG and he won the Golden Globe and Critics' Choice and the NAACP Awards. She has just been absolutely amazing on saying just amazing words about him, his career, what he would say, and everything else. I believe that she is about to just make every one of us cry all over again. I believe that the award is going to be his in this category.
Absolutely. I think that if there's any category that I think we can say is like 100% we know who's going to win, it's going to be Chadwick Boseman winning Best Actor. It's such a tragedy, like you said, that he's not going to be able to be there to accept the award. I'm already getting emotional just thinking about his wife accepting it for him. It's definitely going to be the moment of the night, I am sure. But yeah, I think that his performance already stands alone as such a great performance that's worthy of winning. But just the tragedy of it all just makes people, I think, want to vote for him even more, because we're not going to have another Chadwick Boseman performance. So let's honor him now while we can with a performance that is just as worthy.
I so agree with that. Was it the last person that was not here to accept an award because he had passed away? Was it Heath Ledger? Was he the last one?
I think so, yeah. And that was the same thing too, where it was just every award he was winning because it was a great performance and people just really wanted to honor him and, remember him for a great performance. And that was another very emotional speech from his family. So I'm excited to see what is going to happen on Oscar night when she accepts that award.
Yes, I agree. And I need to make sure that I'm prepared ahead of time, because I just feel there's going to be some emotional things that's going to be pulling at my heartstrings, your heartstrings, and those that are going to be watching this. So I'm not getting a small little pack of tissues. It will be a big box. And, my whole entire feelings and my heart is going to be in this, because it's going to be, I feel it's going to be that kind of night. If a surprise out of this category could happen, if and we both know Chadwick is going to win this, but we've seen surprises before. Who would be your dark horse of this category that could take it?
I just watched The Father this week, and I was blown away by it. It devastated me. I thought it was brilliant.
Mhm.
So if I had to say someone in this category was my dark horse, I would say Anthony Hopkins in The Father.
Mhm.
But any one of them, they're all so good in this category.
All of them, every single one of them. Stephen Yeun, let me just give him his crowns and flowers for Minari.
Mhm.
Absolutely great, absolutely brilliant. If you're not seen it, brace yourself. You're gonna cry. If you don't cry, you're not human. I don't know what else to tell you. Minari is just absolutely one of those films that will make your emotions be, you'll cheer, you'll cry, you'll boo, you'll get mad, you have so much hope for this family. And his performance in it was just really, really, really good.
Yes.
Animated feature film Onward, Over the Moon,
Mhm.
a Shaun the Sheep movie, Farmageddon, Soul, and Wolf Walkers. I'm gonna tell you what, Onward was my jam. Okay, that was Ryan and I. Backstory, real quick. Ryan and I worked together at a movie theater, and the last movie before this pandemic shut us down, and everything else that I saw was Onward. And I've seen it twice after that, and I'm going, oh my gosh, this movie, the storyline, I just absolutely love it. I love, Tom Holland. I love, just the whole character, all the characters that are in it. Octavia Spencer's character, because I love me some Octavia Spencer
Yeah.
in it. And then I think it was you again. And several people told me, Marisa, check out Soul.
Oh yes.
That was good, and that's my
Beautiful.
pick. That's my
Yeah.
pick. What's yours?
I mean, it's got to be Soul. I mean, I was surprised that Soul didn't get nominated in Best Picture, because every now and then that happens where a Pixar movie, especially, will kind of break through and make it into Best Picture. And it
Mhm.
seems like, oh, this could be a year where that happens again. So I was shocked that it didn't happen, but it is definitely, I think, the movie to beat. It's just such a creative movie. The animation is just drop dead beautiful. It has great vocal animated performances. It's a great emotional movie. So
Mhm.
I'm definitely rooting for Soul as well.
It was good. It's one of those movies, that along with all the movies that we're talking about and that we're discussing, that was pushed back, with the exception of Onward and this one that ran on time. But it's one of those movies where it was worth the wait. And
Yes.
I was kind of skeptical of it, because I'm going, okay, I need to see this in the theater. Why am I seeing it streaming and so forth and everything else? Absolutely good, absolutely brilliant, as you said and as you described. I think that this one will take the statue in this category. The cinematography. Here's the thing: the people that are responsible for the cinematography in this category, any one of them can win this, because the cinematography captivated me in every single one of these films. I did not see one of them, which is News of the World, and Darius Wolski is nominated for that for cinematography. Sean Bobbitt for Judas and the Black Messiah. His cinematography, brilliance, made you feel like you were there in every single scene. You were there in that powerful scene where Daniel Kaluuya's character, when he was hyping up the crowd and telling them that he was somebody, you felt like you were sitting in the crowd itself, with that brilliant camera shot of everybody, and Fred Hampton being on stage, and everybody else looking back at him. That whole scene, to me, still, I mean, I got goosebumps still from that scene. Eric Messerschmidt from Mank, black and white. Any black and white film that you give me and you make it into current, and you're telling a story of old Hollywood or something back in the day, you have to do it right. You have to do it justice. I think he did it with this one. Joshua James Richards for Nomadland. I mean, to me, I felt like I was walking in a nonstop panoramic shots. Like I was just walking into a brilliance of part picture in one of those postcards. It was like a nonstop
Mhm.
travel into a postcard, the way that the scenes were shot in that. But then again, I mean, you throw Frances McDermott in there, to me, she's just absolutely amazing. And
Yes.
Phaedon Papa Michael for The Trial of the Chicago 7. So any one of them, and again, I didn't watch News of the World, but what are your thoughts? Who do you think is going to capture this for best cinematography?
I think that it's probably going to come down between Mank and Nomadland. Um, Nomadland, the Academy loves to recognize cinematography that is kind of epic and sweeping with lots of beautiful scenery. And I think that Nomadland kind of checks all those boxes. It was shot with IMAX cameras.
I mean,
So
shout out to last year's winner, 1917, because that,
also amazing. Yeah,
yeah.
great cinematography in that movie. But Mank, I could also see happening as well. The Academy likes to recognize when black and white is done very, very well. And I think that the black and white cinematography in Mank is pretty excellent. That whole movie just looks, sounds, and feels like it was made in 1940. So I could definitely see that being something that wins in this category for sure.
That's my top two as well. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets that. Nomadland, I mean, slight edge over Eric Messerschmidt from Mank to me, but both of those are the top two. They'll just have to duke it out and see who wins it. Runner up to me would be Sean Babbitt for Judas and the Black Messiah, just because the scenes there, you just feel like that you're in every single scene, and the way that the camera angles were all shot of those powerful scenes. It was just absolutely brilliant. Best Director, Thomas Vinterberg, Another Round, David Fincher for Mank, Lee Isaac Chung for Minari, Chloe Zhao, Nomadland, and Emerald Fennell, Promising Young Woman. How in the world Regina King is not in here for One Night in Miami? I don't understand it. I don't know. The one I'm not familiar with is Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round, because I did not see him in a previous category on an award show, and maybe you have, and I just missed it. I just feel like that he possibly may have bumped her out of this category. And I mean, to have two women in here for Best Director is epic. In my opinion, should be three, but
yes, I agree.
Chloe Zhao is going to set history and be the second woman to win it second. Okay, Hollywood Foreign Press, y'all got to do a lot better than this. A second woman to win this, which she will for Nomadland. She's been getting all the accolades, all the awards, all the praise for her direction in this film. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that it will be shocking if it's not Chloe Zhao. She has won, I think I saw an article that said she's won the most like best directing awards ever in like a single award season. She's won, it's like every time that I look at a list of who won this critics award, who won that award, it's her name is there for best director.
Right.
And like totally deserving too. That whole movie, that was one of the last movies that I saw. I kind of had been putting it off a little bit because I knew it was gonna be very, very affecting. And I was like, I want to save that towards the end of my Oscar journey. And it was definitely worth the wait for me. I thought it was just such a beautiful, touching, sad, but also hopeful movie. And her whole approach to the way that she directs movies with these like non-professional actors and incorporating their story into the story, I think is really fascinating and was very effective in this movie. So I think that she's the one to be in this category for sure. But this is another category with a lot of, you know, really great people nominated. It would have been nice to have seen Regina King in here. Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round was definitely a surprise on Oscar nomination morning. The director's branch is kind of known for sometimes throwing in one or two kind of surprise directing nominations. They're one of the more international branches in the Academy. So there are a lot of European, Asian, South American, all sorts of all over the world directors are in the Best Director branch for the Academy. So there's every now and then we'll see one of the foreign language films kind of pop in there for Best Director as well. But it definitely would have been nice to have seen Regina King nominated.
It would have been. I mean, if anybody has not seen One Night in Miami, absolutely brilliant. Leslie Odom Jr., you know, nominated for his role in it. Just so good. And I wish she was nominated for her work, but again, we already know she's just absolutely brilliant, and to me, can't do no wrong. And to her, as another actor and actress that has evolved, going from an actress to now behind the camera and directing. I think this was her first one. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is her first film that she has directed, and it's gotten so much praise and accolades, as it should, because the way the storyline and the cast that's in it, absolutely, absolutely good. And now, Best Picture.
Oh.
Any one of these, to me, can get it. I mean, this category is, it's got some good ones, and it's hard for me to, not hard for me. It's actually the first time in a long time that I will say that these films that are nominated were good, were absolutely good. And you see, I'll pick, several of them that I'll know, oh my gosh, that one should have won that, or that one's a clear cut favorite and everything else. To me personally, I think any one of these films can win it, just because, I mean, just a captive audience like yourself, me, people that have talked about it, absolutely good. Best Picture nominees: The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, The Trial of Chicago 7. Ryan, school us real quick on when Best Picture nomination, or Best Picture, Best Films are nominated in this category of Best Picture. What is the committee looking for when they are looking to nominate a film? And it's more than just, the actor, the actress, the script and everything else. What is that person that's sitting on that committee when they vote, and the final tally of who these films are in there? What is it that they're looking for to say, hey, this picture is the best picture in my opinion? What is it that they look for?
I think that every Academy member is probably different, but if you read enough articles and interviews with people who are Academy members where they talk about what it is that they're voting for, the Hollywood Reporter every year does this series called Brutally Honest Oscar Voter. I don't know if you've ever read any of those articles, yes. But they can sometimes be funny and sometimes they can be very cringe, because sometimes I'm like, wow, Marisa and I should be in the Academy and this person should not.
Right.
Excuse me. But I think that ultimately at the end of the day, the thing that the Academy is always going to respond to most is emotion. The movie that I think elicits the strongest emotional response is probably what is going to resonate with them the most. If you just look back at the last couple of years, a lot of like really strong technical movies have won as well. So I think that technical achievement is also a very big deal for the Academy. So usually if a movie has a lot of really strong technical skill and technical achievement, but also can still satisfy the really strong emotional reaction and emotional connection with an audience, that's kind of almost always going to be the movie that wins. But also the Academy really likes to award movies that are about Hollywood. So that could definitely give Mank the edge, since it is very kind of an inside baseball Hollywood movie. So I could see a lot of Academy voters going for Mank because it looks great. It's a technical marvel how they made that movie look and sound and feel like such a vintage classic movie. But it also satisfies, the ego of artists and seeing themselves on screen and the struggles that they go through. So I could see that happening. But the thing to also kind of know about the way that Best Picture is voted on, because I think a lot of people don't really know this, is that they do a preferential ballot when they vote on Best Picture. So they have to rank all of the Best Pictures 1 through 8, 1 being their favorite, 8 being their least favorite. And what happens is that the accountants that tabulate the votes for the Oscars will basically go through, and whatever movie has the most #1 votes automatically goes through the next round. And then that movie is no longer like, you can't count votes for that. And now the next movie that's on that list gets the #1 votes basically. So the movies that win Best Picture are not necessarily always the ones that have #1 the most on all the ballots. It's the people that have the most, like 1, 2, or 3. So that's why sometimes we get movies like The Shape of Water, which is a fantastic movie, don't get me wrong, But you're kind of like, oh, that was Best Picture that year, because that was probably a movie that was number 2 or number 3 on a lot of people's ballots, even though it may not have been number 1.
Right.
This year it's kind of hard to tell though, because they're all such good movies. So you're like,
Yeah.
okay, what could be number 1, 2, or 3 on this person's list that could make that be the most consensus? I think that what will probably be Best Picture ultimately is probably going to be Nomadland, just because it has won the most awards. It won Best Picture at the Producers Guild Award, which uses the same preferential balloting system. So if Nomadland can win the PGA on a preferential ballot, its likelihood of winning is stronger at the Oscars as well. This is all very technical mumbo jumbo, but
no, it's because you have people that are fans of movies. You have people that this is their life. Like they are, they have their social media and their whole brand about going through movies and giving their opinions about them. And then you have, you and I or other podcast folk that talk about different things in entertainment and media and the actors and actresses and all that. So when you, for the Best Picture, and this is why I can say, like I said, for the longest time, this category, all of them were good. And I watched all of them. And it's the first time ever that I've done that. So, round of applause to me that I actually, because they were just really good movies. Again, Promising Young Woman took me a couple of times to just crank it through. And I think Carey Mulligan's performance pulled me through that because I was just captivated by the performance she gave of the movie itself. But all of them are good. I agree with you, Nomadland. It's probably going to win Best Picture, as well as the cinematography as it is. My runner-up would be Judas and the Black Messiah, just because to watch a movie 3 times and just see something new in it every single time, and just the brilliance of the cast and Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield. Just all of it overall, it's just absolutely brilliant. Mank would be my runner up, but like I said, any one of these. I think too, this was the first time, with the exception of Mank, and well, no, I can't say the Chicago Trial of 7. This is the first time too where these movies pulled some emotions out of me. Like either I was sobbing or it got me to pause and reflect and think, and my eyes welled up, or I dropped a tear or two. Minari had me sobbing like a child.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, The Father, I was like, oh my God, it had me like call and check on my dad and check on my mom. And it was, I'm trying to like think of words, but the only words I can come up and say is like, every single one of these films, deservedly so, in this category, being nominated, and overall brilliance to everybody involved, actors, actresses, director, cinematographers, those that wrote the script, those that did it based off of people that were actually being Judas and the Black Messiah, and the Trial of Chicago 7, and Mank. So good, so good.
Yes.
We had a little bit of breaking news while you and I were talking. Actor in his own rights, as well as artist, rap artist DMX, otherwise known as Earl Simmons, unfortunately has passed away at the age of 50.
Oh, no.
He was, people can read about it because I don't want to go into the sadness of it and what landed him in a coma and so forth, and everything else. So very well known with the Rough Riders, and a rap artist in the 90s, with a lot of hits. Think of his family, pray for his family. But DMX was in one of my favorites back in the day, Romeo Must Die and Cradle to the Grave. You may call them, horrible acting, cheesy movies. I liked them early 2000s, and Who Can Do No Wrong. Late Aaliyah was in Romeo Must Die, and then the brilliance of Jet Li, Cradle to the Grave. I think that DMX was good. Those are my 2 favorite DMX movies that he was in. So thoughts and prayers to his family, that they're going through a difficult time. And yeah, just hopefully they'll do some kind of tribute to him. I don't know if the Academy will do something when they do their in memorandum piece. I hope they do something for him
I hope they
because
do too.
I mean he was an actor, and always was involved in his craft and evolving his craft like Tupac did. He involved his craft, from music into acting, as well. The late Tupac Shakur. So thoughts and prayers to his family. One thing that I want to dive into is best original song. Some of these songs that I absolutely love from the movies were just absolutely great. And I mean, I'm